It's like he's leaving us real-life franchise Easter eggs.
Everything is bigger than last time. Bigger budget, bigger cast, bigger body count, longer chases, shootouts, beheadings. You gotta top what came before to keep people coming back.
We have to finish the movie. Who gives a fuck about movies?
Who gives a fuck about movies?
I didn't want to spend the rest of my life being afraid of monsters. I wanted the monsters to be afraid of me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Franchise Deep Dive with Jake and Josh, the podcast where we dive deep into all of your favorite and least favorite movie franchises. I'm Jake.
And I'm Josh.
And
nice mask.
Today... Oh, thank you. It's, where did I go? Oh, I saved it for Scream 6 specifically because it is the crusty, faded Billy mask from Scream 6.
How long have you had that?
I thought it was about a year. I got it like a year ago. It was like $10 at Walmart.
Oh, you didn't get it at the premiere of Scream 6 when you went to see it?
No. Unfortunately, I did not. I didn't get jack shit for seeing that movie in theaters. It's okay. The experience was enough. But, of course, guys, we are closing out, sort of closing out, our Scream franchise deep dive, of course, with Scream 6. We are just a couple of weeks, I think a week out, 2 weeks out from Scream 7. Very, very excited for that. But we do have one more episode coming out next week that is just going to be a little bit of a recap episode for Scream, a little bit more relaxed, less focused. It's going to be us just ranking the movies, going through our ranking the killers, as well as probably like our top 5 favorite kills in the franchise. And then also just talking about some Scream 7 theories that we have, what we want out of the movie and what we think might happen. So definitely stay tuned for that. But in terms of Scream movies, we are closing out again with Scream 6, released in 2023, so 3 years ago. And they kind of banged it out pretty quick because Scream 5 was just 1 year earlier, so we're kind of returning back to that like Scream 1 and 2 formula where those films were kind of released in back-to-back years in pretty quick succession, so that's pretty cool. But as these episodes are one to go fairly long, let me set the stage for Scream 6, and then we can kind of get into some trivia and then get into the discussion of the film. But before I do that, I do want to apologize, guys. We made it through 44 episodes of this podcast where no matter how cold or how hot it was, I never turned on my heat. I never turned on my AC. But if you live in northeastern Pennsylvania, you know what's going on right now. And the real feel is, I think, around negative 15 right now. It hit negative 18 earlier today. So sorry if it affects the audio quality. It's something that I've been trying to avoid, but I couldn't suffer any longer. It is so... I have my heat blasting right now, and my feet are still just icicles. So I hope the audio still turns out okay. I'm going to see if I can kind of fix it in post, but either way, if it sounds a little different...
60s weather here, Jake, this whole winter.
Yeah. Fuck you. That's all I'm going to say is fuck you.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be this way in Colorado. I don't get it.
It's so cold. It was. I got gas this morning. I had to go get my oil changed. I went to get gas, and it was just like a painful experience, just even stepping out the front door. So, yeah. So you guys might hear my heater on in the background, but we'll try to minimize that. I turned my volume or my audio recording levels down a smidge more than I normally do to try to avoid any external noises, but we'll see how it goes. Either way, Scream 6, again released in 2023, again directed by the radio silence duo Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette. Budget of $33 to $35 million, a box office result of $169.1 million, so smash hit at the box office for a Scream film, and a Rotten Tomato score of 77%, which is pretty solid. I think the only one that's not certified fresh in the franchise thus far is Scream 3. I think that had like a 50-something, if I can remember correctly. But yeah, the plot, right. The synopsis goes as follows. After surviving the latest Woodsboro murders, a group of teens move to New York City, hoping for a fresh start, only to find a new killer picking up where the last Ghostface killer left off. Pretty good little synopsis there. And I'm just gonna run through the cast real quick, and then we can get into the discussion. We have Jenna Ortega back as Tara Carpenter, Melissa Barrera back as Samantha Carpenter, our boy Skeet Ulrich, or Skeet Ulrich, I always forget how to say the last name, returning as Ghost Vision Billy, Courtney Cox returning as Gail Weathers, Samara Weaving as Laura Crane, Hayden Panettiere back as Kirby Reed, Jack Champion as Ethan Landry, Mason Gooding as Chad Meeks Martin, Dermot Mulroney as Detective Bailey, Josh Segarra as Danny Brackett, Liana Liberato as Quinn Bailey, Jasmine Savoy Brown as Mindy Meeks Martin, and Tony Revegliori as Jason Carvey. Oh, also you have Devin Nakota as Anika. So that is your core cast of this film. Obviously, Roger L. Jackson returning as the famous voice of Ghostface, so that's cool.
Is it Anika or Annika?
Huh?
Is Mindy's
Annika.
I thought you said Anika.
Did I say Anika? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Annika. I remember specifically watching this movie. For some reason, I've seen this movie multiple times, and I always think it's Anika, and it's Annika. So, my bad. I can pronounce like French names easy, and then I mess up simple ones like that. So that's always fun. But yeah, before we get into like trivia, like we like to do with a lot of these episodes, and especially recently with these Scream films, what was your kind of history with this movie? Do you remember how you felt the first time you saw it? Were you excited to see it coming off of the heels of Scream 5 or 5 Cream? Were you pumped? Were you jazzed? And what was your like first reaction the first time you watched it?
Yeah, I saw this movie twice. Once in theaters, once at home. I was definitely excited after Scream 5. I'm excited for every Scream sequel, pretty much. But yeah, I remember this was. I was excited for the new setting, seeing if they could do a better job than Jason Takes Manhattan. Maybe utilize Manhattan a little better.
Which makes an appearance in the movie. I don't know if you caught that. Yeah.
Wait. Yes. Mm-hmm. Isn't it
it's
the
in
bathroom?
the opening.
Yeah, the bathroom scene, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm very fun. I remember thinking this was very fun. I kind of feel the same way as I did then that I do now with the movie, but it's kind of hard to not just have a good time with every single Scream movie so far. So right. I'm hoping Scream 7 just keeps sticking the landing, at least with a fun watch.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I sort of in a similar boat. I think it's. I don't want to say I've had like a hot and cold relationship with Scream 6, but first time I watched it, I enjoyed it. I thought 5. I liked 5 more at the time, and I'll save my thoughts on which one I like more now for a little bit later. But yeah, I enjoyed it. You know, like you said, it's kind of hard not to have fun with a Scream movie. It's just a very consistent franchise in terms of quality, and it's what we've talked about on and off air, which is, Scream is just a very consistent franchise. Obviously, for us, none of the sequels at least, have touched the original in terms of quality, but that being said, compared to a lot of the other horror franchises like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, yada yada, it definitely has been a lot more consistent than those franchises, and especially like Child's Play. Gosh, Child's Play goes downhill fast. However, upon rewatch, I actually started to enjoy this movie more and more. It actually grew on me the more I rewatched it. Again, I don't know if that's Stockholm Syndrome or not, but yeah, I've enjoyed it more with subsequent rewatches, and yeah, I'll obviously save my thoughts as we discuss the film. But yeah, I mean, if we don't have any more history with this movie, I'd say we get right into it. There's not a ton of trivia about this film. I think the obvious piece of trivia that everybody knows going into this movie, or if you don't, at least, big Scream fans, big horror fans know, is that it is the first Scream film in the series that Neve Campbell does not return as Sidney Prescott. She is mentioned in the film by the character of Gale. However, it was not a great situation. Neve Campbell felt like she was not getting the pay that she deserved. She felt like she was a very pivotal part of the franchise, and she was for years, and I'm definitely on Neve Campbell's side. Pay the girl what she wants. She's Sidney fucking Prescott. Not even that you need her in this movie, but I think the fact that she has been such a consistent part of these movies and she was planned to be in this movie, and the only reason she's not in it is because they didn't want to pay her worth. That kind of sucks. So not a great look for
paid what she wants to for Scream 7.
Yeah, because now she's like the main character again.
Yeah.
It probably had to do with them lowering her salary because like 5, she probably was going to be more of a side character and less of like a pivotal role like she was in 1 through 4. So yeah, very unfortunate. And Spyglass Entertainment also, and we'll talk about that in probably our next episode of the Scream 7 that we are going to be getting, very different than the Scream 7 that was originally planned, and that has to do with how Spyglass Entertainment treated Melissa Barrera and all of the fallout after that. But we'll save that for the next episode. We'll keep this to Scream 6. But yeah, so that's like the biggest piece of trivia that I'd read. Not sure if you read anything else that is worthy of note. I have a couple that I want to sprinkle throughout the episode as we're talking about the scenes and stuff. But yeah, shall we get right into it?
Yep, let's get into this opening. That's always fun to talk about.
Yes, and guys, the last couple episodes we've been trying something new where I try to go through the plot and we talk about it chronologically, and it was definitely taking a lot longer than expected, and that's part of me just rambling and over-explaining things. So in this episode, I'm going to try my best to reel it back a little bit and just set the scene up, starting with the opening scene. You have the opening horror kill scene, murder scene that you get in all the Scream movies. Again, we've highlighted in previous episodes, pivotal part of the franchise. Obviously, like we mentioned in the synopsis and talking about the setting and stuff, moving to the city for the first time in this franchise, moving to New York City, which is a cool change of location. And you have the character of Laura Crane, little homage, little dual homage to Sydney, her character, her fake name in Scream 3 being Laura, and then obviously Crane, like in Psycho, that's the main actress's last name is Crane, so a little kind of horror homage there. And yeah, she's set up for a blind date, and it doesn't go well for Samara Weaving. So yeah, what do you think of this opening?
This feels to me like the first time since Scream 2, where I'm a big setting guy apparently. With like my issue with Scream 3 was that they didn't like set it in like an area that had to do with the plot of the movie. So we're finally getting that to me with Scream 6 from, last time with Scream 2. So I love that we're, starting in a bar, and I don't know, it feels like they're doing as much as they can to keep it like, like just not recycled stuff. And I appreciate that. And, she gets kind of like let into and it's very believable. I kind of like, you can say like, oh, why is she following this stranger like outside and like looking down the alley. I do think overall it is pretty plausible, like how he fools her into like luring her down the alley. But dude, I mean, like, I love the way you like the Scream 4 twist. I love this twist. It's so good. I like it. My socks were knocked off as soon as he like takes the mask off. I like him too. I forget his name. What's his name?
Tony Ravaliori.
Yeah, I like him, and I was like so thrown off. I had no idea where they were going with the plot. I was like, oh my god, this is fun, and I love just the cleanup of like just putting his stuff back on and going through the streets. I don't know, just it gives it like an extra like edge and like scare factor, I think. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, like I don't know if we're doing rankings, but like where does this rank with like the other openings that we've talked about for you?
Ooh, this in terms of openings, this is my second favorite opening.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Scream 4 opening, but I get why some people wouldn't like it. It may be a little too over the top, a little too cheesy. I get that. But I think this opening is fantastic. It is the first time in the series that, because every other, Scream film, when you get to the kill moment where they do the slash, that's when you get the title drop. This is the first time in the series where you get the slash, and instead of the title drop, you just get a blood splatter on the costume and the ghost face.
Okay, what am I waiting for?
Yeah.
Like, why is it? Yeah.
Yeah, and then he pulls it off. I love the build up to it too, because like you said, it's very plausible. It's a blind date. They set it up very well with the whole, like I shouldn't have picked a restaurant that didn't have a sign out front, and he's leading her on. Fun little trivia fact: the picture of the supposed blind date, that's actually Samara Weaving's real life husband and their dog. in that photo.
Okay, yeah.
So that's kind of cool. And it's interesting while watching it the first time. I was like, I know this voice. Like, I know this sounds familiar. Like, who is this? And then he pulls off the mask, and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. It's fucking Flash Thompson from Spider-Man Homecoming. Like, what are we? But yeah, it's great. And it's honestly kind of chilling because, like, it's very different in, like, hindsight, I guess, when you're watching these Scream movies and you get, like, the killer reveal at the end to, like, look back and be like, oh my gosh, they were just acting like a normal person and acting like normal around these other people they're supposed friends. And in this one, it's like the stabbing, first off, is brutal. It's a very brutal kill with Samara Weaving, like, just absolutely just guts the shit out of her, does the final slash. And like, not only is it brutal, but the chilling aftermath of, like you said, just taking the mask off, taking the costume off, just putting on regular clothes, and then strolling down the street like a normal person, like nothing happened.
I
It's
like
very,
that you
like,
immediately
unsettling.
see, like, how he interacts with our main characters right after. It's because you're always like, you find out the end, and then you trace back to the film of, like, oh wow, they were, like, just so normal, like, in all these scenes, but you never get to see them right after they, like, kill someone, how they interact right after. So I love
that little detail of him just walking down the street and, like, just casually bumping into Tara on her way to a frat party. I think that little detail is great.
I didn't time how long this opening was compared to, like, all the other openings. We should have kept note of that, because this one feels like you're getting a lot from this opening, but it never feels drawn out, which I do like a lot. Also, like, it's bringing you to, like, now you're brought into his apartment. You're doing this game of hot and cold. It's just fun. You're getting, like, different. You're getting the classic, like, on the phone with him now of like toying with him and, like, hide and seek kind of with Ghostface.
Yeah.
I don't know,
This is when you get that little kind of homage to Jason Takes Manhattan, because once this character, he's even named Jason. Tony Revolori's character's name is Jason, so that's a fun little kind of nod too. But he gets back to his apartment, then he gets a call from who he thinks is his boyfriend Greg, and, like, you kind of, obviously, like, it's told through dialogue and whatnot that what happened is these two characters were planning on finishing Richie and Amber, the two killers from the previous movie. Also, guys, spoilers for all the Scream movies. We're on the last one. I don't know why you'd watch a podcast about Scream 6 if you haven't seen this and the other films, but spoilers for this and all the other ones. But Richie and Amber, so Jason and Greg were supposedly going to finish Richie and Amber's movie, but then Ghostface calls Jason, starts toying with him, does the hot and cold thing like Josh said, leads him to the fridge, where you get a fully hacked up body of Greg in the fridge, which is just super disgusting, like arms, legs, all these body parts just chilling in the fridge. It's very gruesome. And I love how Ghostface is just toying with Jason in this whole kind of extended opening scene. And even, like, how like, kind of cruel and just desensitized Jason is, like, talking about killing Samara Weaving, like saying, like, oh, like, the second the knife went into her, it's like she wasn't human anymore, she was just a piece of meat. And it's just very, like, sick and twisted. And then
I
obviously,
like that Ghostface just kind of, like, just turns it back on him, like, I don't know,
it sets up a very different Ghostface than what we've seen in the past. So I think that's pretty cool. And that's where, obviously, Jason gets attacked by Ghostface, and, you get the, what about my movie? And then you get my opening quote, which is, who gives a fuck about movies? And then you get the slash, cue the title drop. And then...
and I was kind of, like, excited for that, because you're like, okay, not that I hate, like, the trope now of, like, obsessive... movie buffs that usually end up being one of the killers. I feel like 80% of the time it's they love movies. I kind of love that you get, like, just a Ghostface that just does not give a shit about like following this path of cinema.
Yeah, I love that right from, like, the opening scene. They're telling you this is not like the last movie. This is going to be different. And I appreciate that. And that goes hand in hand with the setting. I know a lot of fans leading up to Scream 6 were very concerned about them moving it to New York. And I was like, I don't know. I was never down on the idea. I was like, I think this could work. You have alleyways, tight apartments. No, I didn't see Scream 3. I didn't see people bringing up Scream 3. Most of the people were bringing up Jason Takes Manhattan as, like, evidence of why this doesn't work. And my go-to response is always, no, that movie sucks because 95% of it doesn't take place in New York. It takes place on a stupid fucking boat. Which, guys, check out our series on Friday the 13th. We did a whole franchise deep dive, and it was awful and torturous. And this has been such a better experience rewatching the Scream movies. But yeah, so you get the opening scene, great. You get the title drop, like I said, and then you kind of move in on Melissa Barrera as Sam Carpenter, and she's in therapy. And I think the scene is kind of funny, actually. She's talking to her therapist, and her therapist is like, well, you got to talk to me. We've been doing this for like a year now, and you haven't told me any of the details. You just say, like, something happened to you. And she's like, well, all right. Well, my boyfriend was a serial killer, and he killed a bunch of my friends, and then I stabbed him 22 times and slit his throat. And the reaction of the therapist is what makes it for me, because he's just, like, immediately, like, you see him just get really stressed out, and he's just like, I can't do this. Like, I'm not built for this. But an important part of this scene, the only reason I bring it up is not only that, but the part that will kind of go forward with Melissa Barrera's character is she not only says that she killed Richie, stabbed him 22 times, slit his throat, yada yada, but that she liked it. And that's like an important part of this movie, her battling that kind of inner darkness and her lineage to Billy Loomis and kind of fighting that darkness inside of her. So yeah. Where do we go from there?
Where are we at now? We're it's not the party, right?
Well, so yeah, Tara leaves therapy. She makes her way back to the apartment where you meet one of the new characters, Quinn, who is Tara and Sam's roommate. And Sam tells Tara, or not Sam, what am I talking about? I'm sorry. Sam is told by Quinn that Tara went to this frat party, and then cue into the frat party. And you get it actually in a little bit of cool direction. You get a nice little tracking shot through this party, kind of, harkening back a little bit to Wes Craven and that first Scream movie, which I like to see, little kind of like visual homages. But yeah, you get a nice little tracking shot through this party. Tara is immediately making a really bad decision by deciding to kind of try to go upstairs to get more alcohol with this character who is like the poster child for roofing girls. They even refer to him in the movie as Date Rape Frankie. That starts a whole altercation, and Chad gets,
Chad.
Our boy Chad steps in and is like, how about you stay the fuck away from Tara? He gets into it with Frankie, and then you get fucking Sam shows up and says, oh, I got this, and fucking tasers. I cannot imagine how painful this is, but tases Date Rape Frankie in the fucking balls.
Excuse me while I tase your balls real quick, or whatever she says.
Yeah. Dude, every time I see that, and it's so crazy in a franchise full of like visceral, like stabbings and whatnot, but like I like wince when she tasers him in the fucking balls. Like, I just cannot imagine the sheer amount of pain.
I know. I don't want to.
No. But, yeah, so, kind of moving on from that, the characters. You also meet one of the newer characters who is Chad's roommate, Ethan. He's dressed up in this kind of, like, dorky robot costume. You get the vibe that he's kind of, like, the virgin nerd of the group. And, Chad is being our, awesome Chad and trying to, like, hype up Ethan and make him feel good about himself and calling him a snack and everything. And Chad is so fucking charming, man. He's just such a great, fun character. I feel like even people who don't like 5 and 6 enjoy Chad as a character. He's just so damn likable. But yeah, and then you kind of move on. Oh, I didn't mention, because this leads into the scene, but in the whole therapy scene with Sam, she mentions that after the events of the previous film, a bunch of theories and rumors went around on like Reddit that Richie was actually innocent and that Sam was the person who committed these murders and framed Richie. So the internet started slandering her, and there was a lot of hate coming her way, which leads into this scene after the party where Sam and Tara kind of get into an argument, and Tara just is basically like, listen, you're smothering me. You can't do this for the rest of my life. And Sam feels like Tara isn't taking her trauma and grief seriously, which is, an interesting dynamic, if you ask me, kind of set up with these characters. I'm not sure how you feel about that, like the way that their dynamic is set up in this movie, but I think it's kind of interesting because it's kind of the first time that we have like 2 main characters in the series, if that makes sense. I do kind of like it. I think I like it a little bit more than the drama that's set up between them in the first one. Mm-hmm. But agreed.
Again, I'm just finding myself. I just like Jenna Ortega a little bit more than Melissa, right?
Yeah.
I just always think she's like just outshining her in each scene. And I don't even think it's Melissa's fault all the time, because I just don't necessarily like the writing throughout this movie that much. And it seems like it's more for Sam's character, but I don't know. So I can't tell if it's a problem I have with her or just like the dialogue itself. But
That's fair.
I
think she's. Sorry, I was just gonna say I think she's bad. I think she's not great in 5. I think Melissa Barrera improves as an actress a decent amount in 6. There's less moments in 6 that take me out because of her performance than 5. But yeah, sorry, what were you saying?
But I do like the dynamic of the overbearing sibling and her kind of like just saying you gotta like just let me live my life and let me make my own choices and stuff like that, because it does kind of like foreshadows a little bit near the end, but just more in terms of like wordplay, I guess. But no, I think it's pretty solid for to keep things like interesting between the siblings. Again, I know you like Mindy. I'm just not sold on Mindy yet. I'm hoping I like her a little bit more in 7. I don't know. But again, I don't care for like the ensemble here. Like we get Ethan and Quinn and Annika, and no one is grabbing me the way Chad is. And Jenna. I like Jenna in this. They're like the only two I really care for.
I don't love Ethan or Quinn, and it's not for any specific reason
to me.
But I do kind of like Annika. I just think she seems like a sweet person. Like she's just like nice and helpful, and I don't love her character, but she doesn't like bother me. But I agree that
I just feel like I don't get much of her, so she feels like a nothing character to me.
I do think she has a really great scene, which we can get to a little bit later. Yeah. But either way, yeah. So the scene kind of wraps up with a random drunk girl on the street splashing soda on Sam and calling her a killer and saying, you know what you did, and really just kind of perpetuating that whole people believe that Sam is actually the person who perpetrated the events of the previous film. And so moving on from that, where do we go from here?
Well, they get brought in then, right, for questioning, because isn't that when is that her therapist that? Oh no, because she then talks about her therapist when they're brought in.
Oh right. No. So what happens next is they get back to the apartment, and this is when you do get a funny little scene though. You get a little bit of a romance developing, and actually I think a rather sweet romance, and I think they have really good chemistry. I also can't go without highlighting. People can say what they want about Scream 6. You can like it, not like it, love it, hate it, whatever, to each their own. This movie has a great fucking soundtrack. At the party scene, you get a fucking Denzel Curry song. Right after that, you get a Billie Eilish song. There's some bangers in this soundtrack, might I add. But yeah, you get back to the apartment, and then you get a little bit of a romance developing between Chad and Tara, and it's a good scene, I think. They have a good chemistry together. I like Chad, and he's not taking advantage of her, and he doesn't, like, push her. He actually is, like, hyping her up, and he's like, listen, you can do so much better than date rape Frankie. And again, just Chad, just a good dude, man. At the end of the day, he's just a good guy. So I like that element. But then, they get called in, and essentially they see on the news the murder of Jason and Greg, and they find all of the information about them. And at this point, they're called into the station. They're called into because you find out that Quinn, their roommate, her dad is a cop. You get a little kind of moment of Quinn mentioning how overprotective her dad got once her brother passed away, and just trying to relate to Tara a little bit with Sam being a little overprotective and whatnot. And even Chad is like, listen, leave Sam alone. She really does love you. She might be overprotective, but it's just because she cares. So you get a lot of like good little character dynamics set up, I think, in this film that I rather appreciate and enjoy. And then, do they get to the station before the bodega scene or after?
Before.
Yep. So they're called in, and this is where you meet Detective Bailey, played by Dermot Mulroney, and he kind of brings up the video of Sam tasing the guy in the balls, and then also the whole altercation with the drunk girl on the street that splashed the soda on her. And it's kind of like seeming like, you know, the police and Detective Bailey specifically are... Oh, wait, no.
No, it's on the way to the...
Yes, okay, so we did skip a scene.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. We're less familiar with this film than we are the last couple of ones, because we've seen this one the least. But yeah, so before they get to the police station, they receive a call from Ghostface, and this is where I feel like they're starting to use the whole New York setting to its... I don't want to say max potential, but they're using it in a really clever way. You also get that in the opening scene. I love the whole, like, dark alley and just, like, the suspicion and the ever-looming fear of you're not in a tight-knit community anymore, like a suburb. You're in the fucking city where Ghostface isn't the only problem. There's, like, other criminals.
It doesn't also help that it's set around
area.
Halloween time, so now we're getting, like, people disguised as him.
Totally forgot to mention that this is set around Halloween. The frat party that they go to is a Halloween party, which is cool. You get some cool costumes, and there's a couple of cooler costumes in like a later scene that we'll discuss, the subway scene, where there's some fun ones there. But yeah, so on their way to the police station, they receive the Ghostface call, and you know, there's a little bit of back and forth. And what I do like though is that the call that she receives is from Richie's phone number, and Richie's contact pops up, and she's like, oh shit, I never deleted his contact. And she's like, why don't you just, what's with all this hiding? Why don't you just come at us? And then Ghostface fucking pops out and tries to attack Sam and Tara. And they're able to fight him off a little bit. They run into a fucking bodega. And before I unload how much I enjoy the scene, what are your thoughts on the whole bodega scene or the Ghostface shotgun scene? Like, what do you think about it?
I bet you think I hate it, don't you?
No, because you're not an idiot, and only idiots would hate this scene. No offense if you don't like the scene, but you're a fucking dumbass.
I tried to sprinkle in some lines that where they just feel cringy or just corny lines or just weak dialogue. And when she's on the phone she's on the phone with him before he like pops up, I think he says like, you and Tara better watch your backs, and she just like jabs back with, no, you better watch yours, and that's it. It feels like such a just like a weak, like just stuff like that. I have like a couple lines throughout the movie that I'm just like, that's all you got. So like, that's how quippy you can get. But okay, so we're in the bodega. I had a very funny part that's kind of like sets the it's like right when Ghostface attacks the one guy, he kind of like steps in front of him. I like the scene. I don't get me wrong. I do like the scene a lot, and I don't hate the shotgun as much as I did in the beginning.
Can I ask why you ever disliked it?
It just kind of, to me, it felt like I wouldn't like Michael Myers pulling out not pulling out, but like even using a shotgun. I give a little leeway because it's not his. He kind of takes it from the worker, so he's resourceful at least. I buy that, but I guess it does. I don't hate it as much, but before I think to me it took away some of the I don't know, some of the the knife is part of his character. I don't like when it gets like a shotgun feels over the top to me. It works within the scene. He doesn't use it again in the movie. So, you know, if this Ghostface used a shotgun or a flamethrower like some of the Stab movies has him using, I wouldn't like it. But it's fine. It's fine for like a sprinkle in. But yeah. It's just kind of like when I think about other slashers, like Michael Myers, how would I feel about them using a gun? I wouldn't like it. It just kind of takes away from the fun of the knife. The shotgun isn't as fun to me.
Let me raise 2 points. The first point, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, they're all one character. Mm-hmm. Ghostface is not a character. Ghostface is a mantle. So to me, it makes sense that each Ghostface could have a different method of killing people. I understand that traditionally they use Hunter's knife, and that feels more of like just a consistency thing. And you're right, it's not like he brings the shotgun in. But also, like we talked about with this Ghostface, as opposed to previous ones, is this one clearly from the get-go does not care about the movies, doesn't give a shit at all. And so the whole like keeping in line with like the lineage of Ghostface doesn't matter to them. To them, it's just I'm gonna try to kill you. Like that is all that that
Then
matters.
why does
is
this
trying to kill them.
Ghostface use the knife the rest of the movie? It follows the rules of the knife. It doesn't use any guns ever again. And I don't want to say too much, but a gun would make sense to maybe use throughout the film for this Ghostface. So that's what I'm saying is why do they then follow the rules of the knife?
He sort of does. He or she, we're not letting her hand. He or she does in the finale. They do have a gun, but it's like post reveal, which people in the Scream community have highlighted that yes, a lot of the killers have used guns in the past. Like, you know, Mrs. Loomis has a gun, Billy and Stu have a gun. So the character or killers in the past have used guns before.
Yeah.
And I understand the whole like the shotgun feels like very different. It feels kind of foreign to this franchise, but from the get-go I just really liked it. It felt different, it felt fresh, and I love that this Ghostface just does not give a fuck. Just kills the guy in the bodega, stabs him, steals the gun from the shop owner. And
if this Ghostface whipped it out of the robe, I'd have a huge problem. I just would. It just wouldn't fit to me. It would just feel a little out of place. So I'm fine with this being a more resourceful Ghostface. But you know, great build-up, great suspense. But what I wanted to say is the guy that steps in front of him. First off, I love the sass Ghostface gives him. Like, he's like, you got a problem here, guy? He just like the little like head like cocking of his head. He's like, oh you want to, and then he just like kills this guy. But right when he kills him, I don't know if you noticed, they insert one of the stock screams that's in like every single movie. I'll send you the video. It's like, it's like if something blows up in a superhero movie, you'll hear this scream happen. It's like the
Wilhelm
lady
scream.
screaming.
Oh,
what's up?
Okay. No, there's a scream that's commonly used in a lot of movies called the Wilhelm scream.
It might be that one.
I'm not sure if it's the one that you're talking about.
It's not
a
woman screaming, but it's like that.
No, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But
I never
like
noticed before.
Like you said, I think this scene is so fucking suspenseful and intense, and Ghostface having a ranged weapon feels so much more threatening. Like, this is one of the most threatening scenes for me in terms of like a Ghostface killer in the series. Because in all the other ones, it's like, all right, well, they have a knife. You can at the very least maybe run away and hope you can outrun them. There's always like but now this Ghostface, you're in a close quarters area. He has a close quarter shotgun, and you just feel that intensity, if you ask me. Like, you just feel the suspense and the dread that Sam and Tara are feeling as they're kind of like inching their way and crawling their way around this bodega and trying to, you know, get away from Ghostface. I just think it's all around really well done. One of my favorite scenes in the series. Like, in terms of like,
I do like the scene overall. I think I do like the subway scene a little bit more though. When we get to that
scene is also fucking excellent. Also one of my favorites. But yeah, so last important detail, the cops, they're able to kind of push over a shelf that like knocks over Ghostface, and then right as that happens, they are running out the front door, and this is when the cops are arriving on the scene. I assume somebody called the police after, you know, Ghostface fucking stabbed a guy in the fucking middle of the store and then shot the owner. But yeah, so the cops arrive, and the important detail is there is a mask left at the scene, and it is, I believe, Richie Kirsch's mask, the one killer from Scream 5. So they leave a mask. That's like a little detail. And unlike Scream 2 and 3, this is a detail that'll actually remain persistent throughout the rest of the movie and will continue, and they don't just randomly drop it. So that's cool. That's fresh for this franchise. But yeah, so now we jump to the scene that we actually accidentally got to already, which is Sam and Tara go to the police station. This is when it's revealed. This is when Detective Bailey, Quinn's father, is like, oh, hey, Ghostface left this mask. It's belonged to Richie Kirsch. And you also meet a returning character. Hayden Panettiere is back as Kirby Reed. She is an FBI agent who, self-proclaimed, takes a special interest in Ghostface cases. And also, what was I going to say? Oh, because we didn't really talk about it in Scream 5. There is a mention in Scream 5. It's a brief little nod, little cameo when Richie is looking up YouTube videos about the Stab franchise in Scream 5. in the corner under recommended videos, there is a little video, a little thumbnail that says Kirby Reed, like, you know, stab survivor or something like that. So it is already mentioned in the franchise in the previous film that Kirby did survive the events of Scream 4, which is awesome. But yeah, she's back as an FBI agent. And without lending too much to the rest of the movie, I just wanted to ask how you felt about her being back and her inclusion in this movie.
Love Kirby, so I was okay with it. It works for me. It doesn't feel, this one doesn't feel like fan service as I think later parts of this movie do. So I'm okay with Kirby coming in this, because at this point it feels a little bit it feels subtle at this point to just have people come back in this fashion rather than in other methods. We'll get to it.
So I like her inclusion in this movie. Obviously, we both love the Kirby character. I love seeing Hayden Panettiere return. She had taken like a 4-year hiatus from acting, and that was a part of the trivia, how she was pretty nervous to return, not only to Scream, but just to return to acting in general. But she ended up like really loving the cast and crew and had a really good experience filming this movie. I don't know if I love her being an FBI agent. I don't know if that really works for her character. It's fine. I don't hate it. It doesn't detract too much from the movie for me, but I think it would have been a little bit more interesting if maybe they had made her like an investigative journalist or a PI or something rather than like a licensed FBI agent. If that makes any sense.
It just seems too. Does it just seem too like I don't know, not convenient, but just like
it does. It does feel a little convenient because it's clear that like Kirby being reintroduced is one of the red herrings of this movie, along with the obviously the new cast members and whatnot. But I do really like one specific line, and I'm not sure if it's right now. It might be a little bit later, but it's not a big scene. But it's when Kirby and Detective Bailey are looking at all of the previous stab killers. They have like a whole stab board, and she has a line that I think is interesting. And I forget what Detective Bailey says that provokes it, but he brings up the movies, you know, the stab movies, and Kirby says, no, the movies don't matter. Forget about the movies, they don't matter. Something along the lines of that. And I remember watching Scream 6 for the first time and thinking, oh, that's interesting. That sounds a little familiar. Rewind to the opening scene of the movie, Ghostface saying, who gives a fuck about movies? And I also think that it's also an interesting red herring in the sense that, think about what happened to Kirby in Scream 4, right? Her best friend did all of this shit and made it look, because she got stabbed by Charlie, so she didn't know about the Jill stuff obviously until after. Her best friend did all of this and then tried to frame Trevor and Charlie. Thinking back to all of the rumors and online Reddit theories about Sam in this movie, it's interesting to me that I was initially thinking, oh, maybe it is Kirby. Maybe the trauma got to her, and this happened to her. She had a friend who did all of this horrible stuff and tried to frame other people and almost got away with it. So maybe in her mind, she's thinking, maybe Sam did do all of this. And maybe she did frame Richie. And maybe she is the one who did the Woodsboro murders. Yeah. So there was a lot of wheels turning in my head the first time I watched this about the Kirby character. I didn't even think of that when I first watched this, but Kirby was still on my list. It's funny that she was on my list both times she's in the movie. Something about her, I guess, it just spells killer. I don't know. Yeah. But dude, like, yeah, I will say, Scream 6, no issues from me with red herrings. Got no issues here. I think all the red herrings are done well. Nothing feels annoying to me like other ones we've talked about. So yeah, I like the Kirby red herring. I think it's done well. You brought up points that I didn't think about that make it even better to me. Yeah, all the friends don't like feel. I like the new guy. Sam's love interest. We didn't talk about him. What's his name? Yes, Danny.
Danny. I like Danny. I think he's a really good red herring also, because I thought about him. Yeah. But nothing felt unwarranted or just like obnoxiously in my face. It just felt like very, oh yeah, I could see this happening. everything was done pretty well.
We did kind of gloss over his character.
Huh?
We did kind of gloss over Danny's
yeah.
character, but he's initially set up as just the like across the hall or across the building tenant who is like, they call him like the hot guy from across the whatever. Yeah. And at first it seems like Sam is just like looking at him, and then after the whole incident of getting soda thrown on her, it's revealed that she's been having like a secret relationship with this character Danny. And he's also a great red herring. If you guys, so spoilers, light spoilers for the show Arrow on the CW, but in season 5 of that show, he plays a villain that you don't really know that he's a villain at first, and it's kind of a reveal and everything. So sorry if I spoiled that, but also it's not a good show, so don't watch it. First season's okay, I guess. First 2 seasons are fine. It's a CW show, so that's what you're gonna get. But so he's a good red herring too, because in my mind he had already played like a villain who was hiding that he was a villain. So he was obviously on my suspect list, but I feel like I wrote him off fairly early because these movies don't often in the following film repeat the same kind of killer. Yeah. So I really didn't think that they were going to go with like the boyfriend killer. But I do actually, I think he is such a better written and handled character than Derek in Scream 2. Like, I don't like Derek. He takes me out of the movie. You don't have fucking Danny in this movie getting on a fucking table and like singing a stupid fucking song. Yep. So that's nice, but yeah.
He's well, I guess you can't really compare him too much to Trevor. I guess you can, but yeah, I think he's way better than Trevor.
Yeah.
Like I like him way better than Trevor.
He doesn't act like openly evil like Trevor does.
Yes. Oh my God. So I guess, back to like kind of like the core group of like the friends I didn't care for, but like other side characters I do like. Like I still like Kirby. I like Danny. Yeah. So yeah, it feels like I do like a couple more characters in this one than 5 that stand out to me. Like you still have Chad. So yeah, that's all good stuff in this one. But where are we at? We're at
we are
the police station with Kirby and
yeah. So Sam is a bit of a suspect in this, and she even brings up, she's like, all right, we're leaving. She's like, me and Tara are leaving, and Kirby and Detective Bailey are both, and I wanted to ask you this question because they're both like, you're a suspect in this. You can't leave. Like, you can't leave the state. Like, you have to stay here. You're a suspect in this case. And I was going to ask you, would you risk getting arrested and just leave? I'd probably leave. I'd probably leave the state. I'd be like, nope, I don't know. I'm done. I'm out.
I didn't really know what the rules were, like with like being a suspect. How?
Yeah, you're not allowed to leave.
Yeah, I didn't really.
That's what happens in Scream 4. Remember, Sydney wants to leave, and they're like, sorry, Sydney, you're like a suspect now. So because the shit was found in the trunk of her car. But yeah, so
I mean, I probably would, because also if I get arrested, I'm also safe. I'd like to think.
Maybe. Who knows? In Nightmare on Elm Street, Rod was arrested, and that didn't save him. So, yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't help that you have some supernatural being creeping in my cell, trying to.
Side note: one of the funniest lines in movie history is in Nightmare on Elm Street when he goes, "Don't look at me like I'm some sort of fruitcake." I don't know why.
That's got to be all delivery for you.
It's because he has such a thick like Italian accent. It's so good. But yeah, so also what is mentioned is they're asking about alibis, and Sam was like, I was in therapy, because they're asking about like the killing of Jason and Greg and everything, and she's like, yeah, I was in therapy, you can ask and check with him, and proceed to the next kind of big kill of the movie. I guess I use air quotes because it's not like a super memorable character, but you check in on the therapist. He hears a knock at the door. Ghostface, like I don't know if he punches through the glass or whatever, but pulls him forward against the door and fucking just stabs him right in the fucking eye. Like, right through the fucking eye.
Yeah, brutal.
And also, right after that, steals Sam's file. So, also not looking good for Sam, because when Detective Bailey and Kirby start talking about it, they're like, this is a little suspicious. Like, her alibi gets killed and her file gets stolen. It's already looking not great for Sam, because the last thing that she told her therapist was that she not only killed her boyfriend, but that she enjoyed doing it. So, not looking great for Sam on that front. And then another mask is left This one, according to Wikipedia, was from the Hollywood killings. So that's interesting. So that must have been Roman Bridger's mask. And this is when you get your stereotypical cliche, these are the rules scene. And I'll be honest, I like this movie. I don't know if you guys can tell from the way we're talking about it. I enjoy this movie quite a bit, actually. I think there's some really good elements, some really good scenes and sequences. This is probably my least favorite rules. Because
Thank God.
I think they're running out of ideas when it comes to this scene, because she's like, oh, we're not just in a sequel, we're in a franchise, and there are rules to a franchise. And it's essentially the same fucking rules that we've heard before. There's nothing special about this scene.
To hear Jake say this, because as I'm watching this, I was just doing a whole lot of assuming as I was watching this with Lauren, and I was like, because I know Jake loves this a lot. I know he's liked it more over the years, and I'm watching certain scenes that bother me, and I'm like, you see, like, I don't know how Jake can defend this. This is not good to me. Like, this is the Scream bias from Jake. I don't get it. So, like, I was just running, you know, I was getting myself worked up thinking Jake liked Mindy's scene. Because I know you liked 5. I wasn't as big on it, but this one just feels completely recycled in terms of, like, I don't like the whole... Figure out some other way to, like, I'm also getting tired of, like, let's gather around and have my little, like, monologue where I'm like, and I don't know, it just, first off, she's saying legacy characters can die. I'm sorry, that just happened in your last film. I already know this. Like,
That's literally what they said in the last movie, is they're like,
so it just feels like repetitive. It feels a little played out, boring, which this movie is doing some new stuff, which I like, but then they're running thin in some areas for me. So
they also call their friend / roommate a slut, essentially.
Yeah.
She's like, they're like, oh, I forget what they say, but she's like, it's sex positivity, but all right. So I think that's kind of fun. The only part of this scene that I do like is when they're like, no, that's not it. You guys are suspects too. And Mindy is like, how are we suspects? We all went through this. And even Chad is like, yeah, I agree. And I forget, I think it's Annika who says, like, you guys all went through, like, a lot of trauma. Like, it's very possible that the trauma pushed one of you over the edge. And then Ethan even brings up the point, like, maybe you guys got a lot of fame from this, and maybe you're hungry for more of it. So I did like that part of it. But the rest of it, I just don't think you need it anymore. Because, like, if in Scream 7,
I think it was Quinn.
What are they going to do?
I think it was Quinn that said, well, why not? Because you guys went through all this together. Then Ethan plays onto it and says, like, I don't really know what Annika says. Maybe because I don't remember anything she really says in this movie. Does she? The only thing is that
she has a very specific line that actually... She has one line later that actually kind of breaks my heart during a scene. But it's just sad. Because it's different for this franchise, I guess. But... yeah, so you get that scene. I don't like it, so sorry, Josh. That's what happens when you assume. You make an ass out of you and me.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm just wondering, like, what they're going to do in Scream 7, because, like, if the last one was the rules of a franchise, like, what like, what are you going to do now? Like, we know this isn't going to be the last Scream. I think they're already, like, planning a Scream 8, so.
Good.
Yeah.
Keep them coming. Honestly, just keep them coming.
Keep pumping them out. Send Ghostface to space. Send Ghostface to space.
We did kind of, I just want to bring up, just to kind of, you know, do her due diligence. Gail is also came into the scene as one of the reporters, I think, when they left the station, after they said you're a suspect, right? I think then Gail comes in.
Yes,
this is another thing.
Gail.
Yeah, this is another thing where it's just like, I don't need fan service to an extent of just mimicking Sydney's punch to Gail. Oh, this time she dodges it and says, oh, I've been through this before. I don't need this right now.
No, Josh, it's so good because Sam tries to punch Gail. She dodges it and she goes, I've done this dance before. And then Tara just whacks her.
Then Tara gets a good one.
And the whole reason, guys, is because... Even though at the end of the last movie, Gail says, I'm not going to write a book about this. She ends up writing a fucking book about this, in which she, according to Sam, an actual quote is that she called Sam unstable and had like a killer gene inside of her or something. So that's a cringy scene. I'll give you that. It is a cringy scene. That was
So,
one of the
like, we're
scenes
on-
where, because
yeah.
I lowered my Letterboxd rating from the previous time that I had watched it. I had lowered it about half a star, and that was one of the scenes that made me lower it.
Oh man.
'Cause
Yeah,
it's bad.
and it's weird because this movie's doing a pretty decent to good job of like bringing new stuff and having it feel like interesting and entertaining, but then they're
Yeah.
really backpedaling on the fan service, and like no other movie really did that yet. So it's like a weird blend that like I can't tell what, I don't know. It's almost like they're confident to do like some stuff, but they're not fully confident in themselves to go full in on like their own spin. I don't know.
No, I agree with that because it does feel like while Scream 5, in the sense of like making fun of requels, it kind of worked in the regard of
Yes.
setting it in Woodsboro again and setting the final act in Stu Macher's house and all of that. The fan service felt like applicable to the plot. 6, even from like the way it's shot to the music that they're choosing to just, you know, the way scenes are blocked and the whole direction of the film feels like they're trying to break away from that Scream formula in some regards and go in a new direction. And then it's like, you know, 1 step forward, 2 steps back by trying to just like, I don't need to see Gale get punched for like what the fifth time in this fucking franchise. And it just, it's not great. And
I would have
it
rather
also
seen her
like,
just like get punched the first time instead of the dodge. The dodge really annoys me. Ooh. Oh,
it's
gotcha
also
there.
like it's like also like I don't like them ruining Gale's character even more because how many fucking times in this franchise is Gale gonna end the movie as like a good guy and then at the start of the next movie you're like, oh, she turned into a piece of shit again.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like how many times is this gonna happen? At least though, like you can make the argument that her place in this movie makes sense because she does live in New York. So, and this is where this is also where we get, I think, the line that, or maybe it's a little bit later, but at some point Gale mentions that Sydney isn't coming to New York and she went into hiding with her husband Mark and the kids. So, which we'll see in Scream 7, I guess. But yeah, so now moving on to the next big scene in the movie, we have the apartment attack scene as all of our main characters, minus Ethan, are back at the apartment there. And this is where we get the first mention from Chad of the core 4, as he refers to him, Tara, Sam, and his sister Mindy. He calls them the core 4. And I listen, again, I get why people don't vibe with the new cast as much. I know you're not super big on Mindy and you're not super big on Sam, and I get it. For me, I just think they're like a likable group of characters. I like their little moments together. I like that they're, because with Dewey, to some extent, Randy, Gale, and Sydney in like the earlier movies, you never get a sense that they're like a tight-knit unit particularly. They just kind of keep surviving together. I like that this film tries to take like the 4 surviving characters of the previous movie and actually like use that trauma to bond them together in what I perceive as a believable way. So in that regard, it kind of works for me. And, you know, this is where Sam kind of reveals that she's been seeing Danny from across the hall, and you get a cute little moment where they're all like, yeah, I fucking knew it. I knew you were seeing him. And she's like, oh, okay, like yada yada. And this is where Danny can see into Quinn's bedroom, and she's on the phone with somebody. She's got a guy in the bathroom because, again, she's sex positive. And Danny sees Ghostface standing in Quinn's room, and he's fucking hooting and hollering. I do like the little moment with him where he's like, yeah, I see you. Yeah. And he tries to get Sam's attention, but she's like, no, I'll call him back or whatever. He texts them, and he texts all of them at once and is like, Ghostface is in there. You hear a bunch of rumbling in the bedroom, and then, yeah, Quinn is like bloodied and dead and thrown out into the fucking hallway. And then you get a whole kind of Ghostface attack scene, and you get the ladder the ladder scene.
Don't know what he's doing with that the biggest ladder I have ever seen in.
So why is everybody so confused as to why he has a big ladder? I see so many people criticize that.
Because you're not going to have a 30-foot ladder in your apartment.
I'm pretty sure it's an extendable ladder. And why wouldn't you have it?
I don't think you would need that big ladder for an apartment. It's just weird. It's a weird thing
Josh.
to just have.
Okay.
Jake, it's
Josh,
a weird convenience thing to have
Josh.
in your apartment.
Okay, let me ask you a question. You're living in that exact apartment. What if there's a fire in front of your door in the hallway and you can't get out?
I go out
What
the
do you do?
sliding door.
What do you mean?
I have 3 different ways to get out of here.
Not your house, like his apartment.
Oh.
Motherfucker. His apartment in New York. I think like people in New York would have a ladder to get out in case of a fire emergency. Like
There's
how
a
else are
fire
you supposed to
escape.
get? I didn't see one outside of his window.
There's usually a fire escape, so
maybe
so
I
people
missed it,
wouldn't
but I
really
didn't.
have. I don't know.
Either way, it's not a
maybe,
huge
yeah.
deal.
But like, yeah, everyone has that issue, because that feels like a very convenient thing. It is perfect length to those buildings, perfect length. It just meets.
Because you would need it to be able to get down to the ground, so
It's
to
not
climb
getting down
down
to the
safely.
ground. That thing is not getting down to the ground. They're like 100 feet up.
No, they're not that high up.
50.
Maybe
They're
they
50. They're like 50 feet.
At
up.
least 50. At least 50. Yeah.
And that
Hey, John.
that ladder's
John Wick
probably like
would
20
survive
feet.
that fall.
So I don't know. The ladder's like a little like, okay, of course
Yeah.
he has that.
Okay.
Get on with it.
Aside from the ladder scene, what do you think about the rest of the scene? Like you get the Quinn's dead.
Yeah, no, it's good.
piece
I
in the
like it.
bathroom. Yeah. Mindy
it's good.
gets I think
I'll
slashed.
tell you something I do hate.
Yeah.
I didn't really catch this the first time I saw it, but I was like, wait a minute. Where's Tara and Chad? And I went back and I'm like, oh, they just book it. They escape. Which I'm like, okay, you just got done with this core 4 speech and you
They go
both
back
leave-
up.
Huh?
They go back up.
When?
There's literally a shot dedicated to them. They're running down the stairs, and they're like, "Wait, they're still up there. Like they didn't get out," and they run back upstairs.
And what do they do?
I think like the whole
They're not in the rest. They're not in any of the other scene. They're not in the scene at all. After
No,
that.
I think it's towards like the tail end of that scene, like after the whole Annika death. Like they get the way it's edited at least.
I have to watch it again then, because they don't come back in that scene, and that scene is like another 5 minutes. Like they leave as soon as Ghostface pops up. So everyone like is getting chased in the house. They block the door. They do the ladder thing.
Mm-hmm.
They get all 3 people across. Tara and Chad are not there. They left.
No.
I don't think
My assumption is that like they probably got a decent amount down the building, down the stairs, and then like once Chad realizes that nobody else made it out, him and Tara then head back up, and by the time they get back up there, the whole rest of the scene had played out.
you would notice if no one's behind you. Your sister. Your sisters.
I mean, in the moment though, you're trying to get away, you're trying to get to safety, and you're probably not thinking the most rational, and you're probably just like your immediate like response is just like book it, get the fuck out of here, and then
I thought Tara does say it, but I thought Chad just like keeps going.
No, they both turn around and go back upstairs, and I just assumed that like by the time,
When are they
by the time
seen?
they get back
'Cause
up there,
Annika falls. She falls. When do we see Chad and Tara?
after that scene. After she falls, it cuts to the right after when they're outside and the police are there.
Yes, they're out. Yes, they're outside.
No, that's what I'm saying. You don't see them re-enter the scene. I'm saying I assume the way it's edited timeline-wise, when they got back upstairs, like you don't see it, but I assume. Josh, I don't want to push
shit,
back.
They left their siblings. They left their siblings. God, that pissed me off. It made me so mad.
I just think they didn't notice until it was.
It was
too
right
late.
after. It wouldn't be as bad if it wasn't right after the Core 4 monologue.
I guess.
Oh,
that's fine.
we're a unit. You grabbed Tara. Why aren't you grabbing everyone else, Chad? I like you, Chad, but I didn't like you there.
All right.
Didn't
well,
like
Chad
you there.
disappointed Josh there.
Chad did
But,
disappoint me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's a good scene. And this is the scene where I think it's pretty heartbreaking because often in Scream, you'll see a character die or dying, and it's heartbreaking enough if you like the character enough. But this is the only time where I feel like people have to see somebody they love and care about die. And like rape, essentially, we didn't fully describe it, but what happens is, Danny extends the ladder, Sam gets across, Mindy gets across, and Annika is the last one in the room. They kind of, block the door with like a thing as Ghostface is trying to get in. And Annika at this point had already been stabbed pretty severely in the stomach. She like pretty viscerally, and she starts crawling on it. She gets about halfway across, and that's when Ghostface enters the room and just starts shaking the ladder. And like just the look on her face, I just think she's like actually a pretty solid actress too. She sells the scene for me, but like she just like looks at Mindy and Sam and them, and it just like the way her voice kind of cracks when she's like, guys, I don't want to die, but like obviously she evokes more emotion than I did there. But
imagine if she delivered it like that.
Guys, I don't want to die.
Guys, I really don't want to die. I'm telling you right now.
But no, it's a rather I don't want to say I tear up or I choke up or anything, but it's a rather heartbreaking scene for me. Like and like putting Mindy in this position of like having to watch her significant other, somebody she cares and loves, fucking die like this and beg for mercy and like beg for their life and like exclaim like I really don't want to die. And you know, death. Ghostface, it's a good death. Ghostface starts shaking the ladder, flips it, and poor Annika meets her untimely fate as she fucking smacks her head off of the garbage can, and Annika is no John Wick and dies. So
yeah,
John Wick would have survived that. He would have survived easily. That, man. He would have gotten up and taken it like a champ, but. Yeah, cut to the next scene, and this is when you get maybe the worst line delivery in the movie.
Oh my god, I got it written here. If it's the same one, is it Bailey?
Is it from Bailey? You explain it because you're better at it.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, Bailey's there. He sees that Quinn has died. He's heartbroken, and you know he's talking to Sam, and he just belts out his line. I don't know if you want to like set up anything else, but
no,
he just goes, "You fuck with my family, you die." and I'm just like, oh, here we go. That's Bailey's tipping point for me. And now Bailey becomes, I think for me, the rest of the movie, a very bad actor to me. I think he just completely, I don't get it. I don't get like he was fine before. I mean, he wasn't that good, but like he's fine. But after that line, that just sets the tone for him of piss poor line delivery the rest of the movie. It's unbelievable. Like,
what's worse, that one? What's worse, that one or you can't steal a cop car?
Oh, that's bad. Oh my god. I got one that's pretty bad.
All right,
but I'll wait. I'll wait.
We'll see. When, all right, well, let me know when we're at that point, and you could let us know. But yeah, so this is when you get maybe the most fan service to ever fan service as
never seen anything like it.
Gail informs our main characters and some side characters that she found something in Greg and Jason's. Did we even say? I don't know if we said that what Jason and Greg's motive was, but I think we loosely did. But yeah, their thing was they were going to finish Richie and Amber's movie. Yeah. But so we go to an abandoned, I think it was like an abandoned movie theater.
Yeah.
We go to an abandoned movie theater. Yeah, there you go, a little cozy movie theater.
I think it was the Scream 2 movie theater, to be honest.
I thought so too the first time I watched it, but it's not.
Yeah, it can't be.
Yeah, what are we? One's in Ohio, the other one's in New York. But yeah, so Gail takes Kirby, Detective Bailey, Sam, Tara, Chad, Mindy, and we didn't get to this point yet, but after that whole scene, Ethan shows up to their apartment, and all of the characters are like, "Get the fuck away from us!" And Chad even like fucking jacks this guy up against a van, and he's like, "Where were you?" And Ethan's like, "I had econ. I swear, you can check with anybody. Like, I had econ." And then you get the abandoned movie theater where you get the craziest fucking franchise fan service, like member berries, like shrine. And they have everything. Everything. If you have not seen this movie and you're still listening,
I think the craziest thing they had was Randy's work shirt. I don't know where in the hell did they get his uniform? I don't even remember seeing. He wore it in the store, but like I forgot what that looked like. What is that doing for me?
They had Randy's uniform. They had Steve Orth's jacket. They had the knife that Charlie stabbed Kirby with.
At least all that stuff is like, you could say, oh, well, that's still a crime scene. He died in that jacket. Randy wore that to work. He didn't wear that any other time in that movie, in those movies. It was insane.
Dude, not only do they have fucking memorabilia, they have like the most like detailed drawings of like Casey Becker's death and
Good
all
drawings.
these other deaths. They're like the most artistically detailed drawings of all of these horrible things that have happened throughout this series. And Detective Bailey goes in like the most monotone way. He's like, "I'm so sorry you all went through this."
Dude, he's so bad. He's so bad.
He definitely he was miscast.
You have the phone.
I think
You have the where I think it's Casey's phone.
you have Casey's fucking phone.
Casey's phone.
It's insane, Josh.
I
It's insane.
wish honestly, I wish you got like Casey's couch pillows also. Like I wish I wish you had the Jiffy Pop.
I was
my
just gonna say
God.
the burnt
Oh my
Jiffy
God, I
Pop.
want the Jiffy Pop.
Dude, they fucking have the TV that fucking crushed Stu Macher's head.
And then you get
Which
like,
remember, because that will come back towards the end.
oh yeah. And then you get just the line of all 9, right? 9?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
9
all
costumes.
9 costumes.
And you get the center stage, only one in a glass case, Billy's robe. The
Got
only
his
one with
knife with blood still
with
on
the
it.
blood. It's
This is when you get Ghost Vision Billy back, and he's
Oh,
like,
yes,
"Come
thank
on,
God.
let's go cut some motherfuckers."
oh man, this
At least it's way more minimalized in this movie than in
at
5.
least though this to me is so ridiculous, but it is so funny where it just plays into like me just having fun with this movie at this point. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
You can
But
not
it
like this movie,
really-
but this movie is fun.
Yeah.
Dude, I like when she first sees Ghost Vision Billy in this, she goes, "Oh, fuck no." And he goes, "Oh, fuck yes." It's so good. It's so good. Oh my God. But either way, yeah, so you get this whole fucking shrine scene. It's ridiculous. I really like this movie. I really enjoy it, but even I can admit that it is so fucking insane that they would even have a fraction of the amount of memorabilia that they
I
have
thought you were
in
gonna
this.
defend it like all the way. Oh my
Again,
God.
I'm with you. I have fun with it, but it is so fucking ridiculous. Like it's so enjoyable to watch, but it's not plausible. And they write it off by saying that cops like money and will take bribes or whatever.
Yeah, my ass.
Either way, they come up with a plan to try to trap Ghostface and try to trick him and lure him so that they can stop him. They do so in an open New York City park. And before they go out there, they tell Gail that she can't come. No press allowed. So they're doing this whole setup thing. I do kind of like this moment with Kirby and Mindy, though, where they're talking in the van, in like the FBI van or whatever, in the police van, and Mindy goes, "Oh, just like in the movies, let me guess, you gotta keep him talking for 2 minutes, and then right before 2 minutes is up, they're gonna hang up." And they're like, "This." And I do think it's funny though, because she goes, "This is exactly how our Uncle Randy died: broad daylight, yanked into a van, no more Uncle Randy." And Kirby just goes, "Oh." But Kirby does say, like, I can track a phone call in like 15 seconds or something like that. And so they get Ghostface on the line, and they're like, Ghostface is like, "Did you really think that I was gonna like come at you in broad daylight or something of that variety?" I'm obviously paraphrasing. And then Ghostface is like, I forget what Ghostface says, but either way, they hang up, and Kirby tracks the call. Yeah, what is it?
I think. Well, no, I don't know. It's just another Sam line. It's her delivery here, where I'm just like, oh my God. It's I think she says, "You're gonna die, you know." And I'm just like, oh God. It's like, I don't know what he says, but
You're gonna die, you know.
yeah, it's
Yeah, no, that's fair. But either way, after the phone call is tracked, Kirby and the rest of them realize, oh shit, they're in the Upper West Side. And who lives in Upper West Side in this specific apartment? Gail Weathers. And I don't know if you read this trivia fact. Would you believe me if I told you that this is the first time in the series that Gail is on the phone with Ghostface?
I would, because I got a note of it, and I said, how the hell does Ghostface know this?
The only thing I can think of is
the records.
The records.
Like,
that's the only thing I can
but
think
like
of.
even then, how do you even? I don't know. That's a lot of phone calls to sift through over.
Okay, so the other thing I did think about is Gail has written a book on every single one of these, and she probably is writing it from her perspective, and in none of them does she mention that she talked to Ghostface. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, maybe that.
That would make sense. That would make sense to me. But even then, that's kind of a really far reach. That's
Did you not think of that when he says, "Oh, this is the first time we're talking on the phone"?
No, I didn't. I didn't think
those
about
10
that.
seconds were great. I want to like just rewatch that.
Hey, I never claimed this to be a perfect movie, but yeah. So obviously we get a Gale attack scene. You meet her new, very tall, handsome, muscular boyfriend that she's seeing now. Well, you see him.
Yeah, do you just see him like just waltzing around in the background? I don't know if do you ever get a good look at his face?
No, you don't. He's always from like far away. But he hands the phone to Gail, and he's like, I do think it's funny, though. He's like, it's for you. And she's like, who is it? And he goes, they said it's the killer.
Yeah, very, very casually. Thanks.
Just like
Thanks,
nonchalant.
Oh,
So
man.
he hands her the phone, and she has her little spat with Ghostface. She's obviously talking to Ghostface on the line. She tells her boyfriend to call the police or whatever. You see in the background while she's on the phone, her boyfriend bites it. He gets killed in the background of the shot. It's a pretty decent shot, and the whole sequence is like I think fairly well framed and shot.
He gets very overpowered for those big muscles.
Well, yeah, those big muscles didn't help him all, did they?
They sure didn't. Dude, she was so mad at him. When he says that, she just goes, they sure did not.
Yeah, dude, I will say, though, I like this Ghostface call with Gail because, like, they're really tormenting her. Like how does it feel to know that you weren't with Dewey to comfort him as he was dying? Like, that's fucked up. That's twisted.
I love that people think they're going to be the ones to outsmart Ghostface, and they still fall into like the same dumb traps. Like when she's like going like an inch to the door. It's like,
yeah,
wait him out.
I think she does. No, she should have waited him out and been smarter about it. She got a little overzealous. Like if I'm her, I'm fucking getting myself in, like backing myself into a corner.
Yeah,
and just
man.
Fucking holding the gun out, and I'm gonna sit there until the cops arrive. Man.
Yeah, I'll sit here till the sun comes up. I do not care. Like,
yep, in the words of Captain America, I can do this all day.
Oh my god, all day and night.
All day. But yeah, she does not do that. She does have a little smart moment though where, dude, this might be one of the funniest moments in the series. She's on the phone with Ghostface, right? She's walking around and Ghostface is talking to her and she goes, "Can you hold that thought?" And you just hear Ghostface go, "Huh?" And she hangs up, redials the number, hears where the phone is coming from, and just starts pumping bullets into the wall. Obviously, it doesn't work in her favor. Ghostface pops out. They get into a tussle. And Gale is stabbed. And we think she dies. She doesn't. She doesn't die. She doesn't die. She should
won't die.
No. Fucking, what is it? What do they say about Hugh Jackman's Wolverine? Doing it till he's 90? You're going to get, like, Scream 17 and fucking 90-year-old bag of bones Gale is going to fucking wander in. Oh, but either way, yeah, Gale gets stabbed. She has to, like, I don't know. I've always found this scene to be a little bit weird, but as Sam and Tara, like, approach her after she gets stabbed, she's like, they're playing this, like, really melodramatic music, and, like, it's played off like Gale is going to die, but she just says, "Tell Sid he never got me."
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'll tell him you got yourself. What do you want me to tell her? Who do you want?
He very much did get you. He stabbed you in the stomach.
Do you want me to lie to her? Like, who got you then?
Yeah.
How did you die? Like, what do you want me to tell her? And I don't buy into Sam sobbing, to be honest. I just don't buy it.
No, they don't. They do not. Literally, like not even a day ago, they were trying to punch her in the face.
Right. Yeah. And so like Sam is like, she might be a fine actress, but she is just overcooking it in like her scenes. I still feel like, and maybe not her fault. Maybe that's a direction thing. I don't know. So I can't. But it's just her character. I just don't.
Yeah, I can see
that.
I think I think Melissa Barrera is at her best in these movies when she's playing like the evil psychotic version of her character. Like when she has to be like nasty and like visceral. I think she nails those parts, and we'll kind of get to that a little bit later. But yeah, so Gale gets kind of not actually got, because this fucking franchise, you know, they're fine killing Dewey, but I guess Gale is untouchable. Oh, I swear, please Scream 7, fucking kill Gale. Please Scream 7, kill Gale.
After, like, well, I mean, Mindy's, like, telling us, oh, guess what? Legacy characters can die. First off, I already knew that, already got that. But okay, you're telling me that, okay, you're telling me someone's gonna... Gale's the legacy character here.
Yeah.
Nope, just don't... I guess you don't have the...
Yeah, for anyone listening, the two of the biggest rules are that main characters are expendable and legacy characters are expendable, and neither of those things are true. So, but yeah, so moving on from that, they come up with a new plan, this time to trap Ghostface in the shrine, abandoned movie theater lair, whatever you want to fucking call that whole thing.
You do.
But before we get to that, we have arguably the best scene in the movie, and arguably maybe a top 5 scene in the franchise, and that is the New York subway scene, as our characters plan on traveling to this abandoned movie theater. They're taking the subways, and they get a little bit separated. The rest of them, they make it onto the first train, but it's New York, and if you've ever tried to take a subway in, like, an abandoned city, especially during, like, a Halloween weekend or, like, a very busy, prominent weekend for a holiday, it's a fucking nightmare. So it's very accurate in that sense, but yeah, all the characters except for Mindy and Ethan, and Ethan is very high on everybody's suspect list at this point, to the point where even when Mindy is texting Chad, she refers to him as AKA Ghostface. But... so they all get separated, and they're on one train. Mindy and Ethan are on the second following train. And she even, like, tells him, like, she's like, get away from me. She's like, get the fuck away. He's looking at her, and she's like, look elsewhere.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, that is funny, but if you were Mindy, do you think you would keep Ethan close or far away from you?
Far away.
You would?
Far, far away. I wouldn't get fucking near him. I wouldn't get near anybody.
Now are you giving him space and distance to potentially get changed into a costume? Now you don't even know if it's him.
I would keep him at a good distance to where I can keep my eyes on him.
Yes.
Like not close, but not too far. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then you get an amazing scene of suspense. The fucking the rattling of the subway car. It's packed. It's congested. It's tight knit. You have a bunch of people wearing fucking Halloween costumes. I noticed a couple. You get a Babadook costume, which is strange because that movie came out like a decade ago. I saw a Hellraiser costume from Wes Craven's Shocker. There's a Shocker. I don't know if that's in this scene or if that's in the frat party scene, but you get Shocker from an old Wes Craven movie.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah. Did you notice any of the other ones?
You said Pinhead, right?
Yeah, you get Pinhead from Hellraiser. You get Babadook. I don't know if I noticed any of the other ones. I wanted to write them down.
You get Myers like kind of walking around. Like Myers.
Yeah.
I don't think he's on the subway.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because there's like so many, but now I'm like blanking on what one specifically I honed in on. A bunch of Ghostface.
But other than that, you get
a
bunch of fucking people wearing Ghostface masks, which is insane because in the realm of this world, these are all real world incidents and not just like a movie. So it's a little fucking weird and desensitized, but yeah, great scene. You get multiple kind of just cutting back and forth between each of the train carts, them eyeing people up. Mindy's like eyeing up a Ghostface. You get a scene where a Ghostface is like rapidly walking towards like Sam and Danny and Tara and all of them.
Danny Boy gets in the way.
Danny Boy steps up and the guy like immediately makes like a left turn and just walks off the train.
We'll try again.
But the part with Mindy is great because she's eyeing up a Ghostface and then that Ghostface leaves and then you realize that the next person she hones in on, something's a little different about this Ghostface, and you yourself start to be like, no, this is the one.
I love
the
the
real
seated Ghostface and then the like blackout and then it just like you see the head turn. I love that, like that the blackout into the head turn.
Dude, the parts when it's like going through like the tunnels and it's like the lights go out and it gets dark and you just got that like sound design of the train or the subway rattling. It's just like, to me, like when you're talking about like direction and like cinematography and editing in a horror movie, it is really top-notch stuff, if you ask me. Like, it's actually, there's very few times in this series where, outside of like 1 and 4, where I'm not like, oh, that's just like a cool kill, but actually like kind of terrifies me. There was like the parking garage scene in 4, and then obviously some scenes in 1, but this scene genuinely like frightens me. Like, just first off, like just from like a claustrophobic standpoint, like it's so just, again, congested and close knit, and it freaks me out. And when the lights start going out and shit, it's just a very good horror scene, if you ask me. Yeah. Anything else to say about that one?
Once we get later in the film, I'll complain about one of the things. Just
is it the after? Oh, we didn't say. Mindy gets stabbed.
Oh yeah. So
in the gut, but the people around her are like drunk and passed out, so nobody really notices.
And Ethan finds her, gets her out, tries to get her help and stuff like that.
I do like Mindy's line to Ethan where she's like, "Damn, I got it wrong again."
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun.
What'd she say? She said, "Fuck this franchise" or something like that.
Yeah, fuck this franchise.
Yeah.
Understandable. Anyway, the rest of the main characters, they get to the theater, and this is when you get a really, I think, a pretty solid little moment between Sam and Danny, where Sam is like, "No, not you," and he's like, "I can protect you. Like, I want to keep you safe," and she's like, "You're not one of us. You're not Woodsboro," and he's super understanding about it. Like, he's actually like he's literally the opposite. He's the opposite of Derek in Scream 2, when Derek's like, "Oh, I guess I'm supposed to be understanding." Fuck off, Derek. Go sing your fucking show tunes, you piece of shit. And then Danny's like, "I get it. Stay safe. I got you." And then he leaves. He's a fucking good guy. I guess we're fucking spoiler alert. Danny's not one of the killers. Sorry. Fucking, he's not one of the killers.
We're near the end, guys. We can start weaning people out of the equation.
So it's not fucking Danny. It's not Annika. They're fucking yada yada. But either way,
we are approaching probably my favorite or the funniest Chad line to me. But I'll wait till we get there. Oh my god, it's so funny. I crack.
Yeah. Let's set up the final sequence. Let me set it up real quick, and then let's just dive head in. And we're making pretty good time so far. So, let's just get into all of that. But they get in there essentially, and shit starts going south. For some reason, they start splitting up, which is never a fucking good idea in these movies. And I feel like these characters should be smarter than that by now, but they're not. So they start splitting up, and you get a little bit more romance with you get a little bit more romance with Tara and Chad. They're kind of bonding a little bit. They're having a little moment together, and then they finally kiss, and it's sweet and it's tender. And at this point, I believe Detective Bailey calls Sam and lets her know, "Hey, Kirby's not in the FBI anymore. I checked in with them. They fired her like 2 months ago. Like, she had like a psychotic breakdown or something like that. Once no, it was a year ago. They said, like, they let her go because after the Woodsboro murders the previous year, with Richie and Amber and everything, that it started to cause her to go crazy or whatever. So obviously Sam like thinks that Kirby is one of the killers now. She goes and tries to find Tara and Chad. And this is when Ghostface pops out. They start fighting him. At this point, Chad is handling this Ghostface. He's big, he's buff, and this time, unlike the last movie, he wasn't handicapped by being stabbed in the leg right off the bat. So he's kicking the shit out of this Ghostface. Sam and Tara try to run away. Fucking Ghostface is getting his ass kicked, and then Chad gets fucking stabbed. And this is the last thing I want to talk about, and then, like, obviously whatever you want to say, and then we can just kind of go back and forth with this scene. But fucking Chad gets stabbed by another Ghostface, and then both Ghostfaces start stabbing the absolute fuck out of Chad. I'm talking like
I lost count.
30 fucking stabs. They do the double stabbing of him. They do the synchronized blade cleaning, which is the coolest thing I have ever seen in one of these movies.
It's the first time we see them together on screen.
Yep. I think it's the only time in the series where you see like two Ghostfaces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. Keeping things fresh, keeping things exciting. I love it.
Before he bites it with the 50,000 stabs, There's a moment in Mindy's monologue where she's like saying how extreme things can get. She's talking about like beheadings and stuff like that. And so in like the main area, one of the Ghostfaces tries to slash Chad. He ducks, and it just completely takes off the head of a mannequin. And he just looks at it and goes, "Beheadings!" Like he was like, "Oh, there it is."
Right. I forgot, because in the whole like rules of the franchise explanation, like when Mindy's going through it, she mentions beheadings, and
Yeah. And that's all when he sees that happen, he's like, "Oh my god, she was right." And,
yeah,
and I do like
great.
smile for the camera, motherfucker. And then he just whacks him with the camera. But then
that's fucking Kenny's camera.
Oh my god.
They have Kenny's camera from Scream 1. This movie is a fucking hoot and a half, I swear.
But yeah, so then he gets stabbed a bunch, and then Sam and Tara get kind of cornered in that main area. They're like on each side of them, and then Kirby comes out, and they're having their like this little uncertainty here, and now Bailey comes out, and it's like a showdown now with them. I don't know where did the Ghostface? I guess she comes out and shoots, and they run away. So now it's like Kirby and Bailey aiming their guns at each other, and she's like saying whatever he's been feeding you, don't believe him. And then Ghostface pops up behind Bailey, running at him, and then she like says, "Look out," and he just stays still, and then shoots Kirby. Ta-da!
Kirby.
Detective Bailey. Here we go with my man's on-screen presence. He's gonna blow the roof off this bitch. Oh, so now
is his next line the one that you were talking about? Because I love his next line.
No, wait, what's the next line?
So I think Sam goes, "It's you," and he goes, "Yeah, of course it was me."
No, it's not that. That's just it's fine. No, it's when. So we then learn, the two Ghostfaces approach him side by side. They take off the mask. Are we ready to get into the reveal here?
Yeah. Let the people listening know or watching know who the other killers are.
So, mask comes off. It's Ethan Landry, his Bailey's son, and then they think the other one. There's no other option but Mindy, and then she pulls off the mask, and it is indeed Quinn. Faked her death. I don't know how you feel about that. How do you feel about the fake death?
It's stupid, and
okay.
I hate that they try to explain it. I do think her line is funny though, because I forget if it's Sam or Tara, but one of them goes, "You died," and then she goes, "I kind of didn't though."
I don't know what. I'm assuming Ethan, when they pretended to kill her, they didn't know Danny was watching or even across the thing. So like, I guess it was Ethan just like. He was like just standing behind her for so long. I guess was he just like preparing in like his world to like do the
just it's getting in character.
Yeah, I guess. But so yeah, all three of them. We got three killers first time, and then we find out that this is Richie's family, and this is all in a vengeful act to avenge their son and brother. Now, do you buy into them not ever being talked about? I get maybe you couldn't meet them, but like pictures, nothing, like
because we don't know. I mean, I know plenty of people who just don't have a relationship with their parents or their
I guess
their
Richie
family,
could have
their
just lied and
siblings.
said like he doesn't have like a good relationship with his family.
I think that was
whatever. That's fine. There's plenty of other to chew on. That's just like ridiculous in this.
See, the part that doesn't
act.
make sense to me, and it's one that I've like really pondered, is like to be a cop. There's like background checks. There's a lot of stuff that goes into like especially if you're a detective, and like I feel like the police force would have known that Richie was Detective Bailey's son. I don't know how they'd
be like
exactly. Yeah. They especially would not put him on the case if that were the what it was. So that stuff it definitely pushes past like suspension of disbelief at certain points in terms of like logistics and rationalities. But yeah, so essentially we get another revenge killer motive, as they want to get revenge on Sam after they saw what she did to Richie. Again, stabbed him 22 times before slitting his throat. And they make a point, I think it's Ethan, who says, you can't just kill somebody anymore. You have to assassinate their characters. You find out Quinn was the main proprietor of the online Reddit rumors and theories about Sam being the killer and framing Richie and all of that sort of stuff. And then you
find out Quinn was the one that killed Big Muscles, which is why I highlighted that. Man, Ghostface really overpowers Gail's boyfriend.
Dude, what
Quinn.
can I say? The Scream franchise just has some strong ass female characters.
Yes. Yeah. They're
Fucking
always
Mrs.
they're
Loomis.
always lifting everybody.
Mrs. Loomis, fucking Amber. Jill didn't do too much killing, so that one we can overlook.
Yeah.
That was mostly Charlie, from what fans suspect. But
Man.
yeah, so that's the motive. Those are the killer reveals. First time in the series that we get 3 killers. And yeah, a little bit of a kind of, replication in some ways of Scream 2. One kind of little fact that I overlooked, and not sure if you're aware, but the frat party that they go to, that's the same fraternity that Derek was a part of in Scream 2, OKB. Okay. So little kind of, continuity thread there. Obviously, in Scream 2, you get another vengeful parent, which is, kind of, carrying over. So that's, it kind of parallels Scream 2 in a way, which I think is kind of interesting. But yeah, so then you kind of have...
Yeah, it is, because 5 kind of mirrors 1. So they are doing that.
Which will lend to my Scream 7 theory, because I have a pretty concrete one that I'm sticking with. I'm excited to get into that in our next episode. But yeah, so after the reveal, you get into an all-out fight, and the way that they are cornered, but the way that Sam kind of is able to stall them from just like shooting them and killing them or whatever is she starts shit talking Richie, essentially. Yes. And I think she calls him like a limp dick bitch or something. Yeah.
So when she calls him pathetic, this is my line from Bailey when he just goes, "What? That's not true." I was like, what was that? She destroys him mentally, like that, like really, like he breaks just from hearing that. He's so bad. I can't stand him in this, like in
the whole
this
finale.
Whole final act. Yeah,
I do think it's kind of funny though when he's like, Richie really loved these movies. For me, they're a little dark. I don't know why, but I think that's funny because it's like you're going around committing these like awful, heinous murders and killing people in like brutal fashion, and then you talk about these movies being dark. I always think that's like a funny little character moment for him. But yeah, the performance doesn't. He hams it up a lot, but it just in a way that like I think Timothy Olyphant trying to ham it up in Scream 2 doesn't particularly work. I don't think it works with Detective Bailey here. He's not. I'll say as a whole, the Bailey family, I get the motive. I'm okay with the motive. I just don't love the killers. I don't love the whole, like, we're pulling a fake death kind of thing. And for me, I don't know about you, but, like, I was able to call Detective Bailey from the trailers.
Yes.
It just...
I don't know if I called it from the trailers. I think I was always waiting for, like, one of the like authority figures to be one. Yeah. And this kind of just like, as it's playing out, you're just like, okay, this is when they're going to do it. It's pretty, it's not like obvious. It's like some parts are like the therapist dies like right after Sam tells him about him.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
They show you the whole shrine and are immediately Gail is like, hey, only a cop would have access to this.
Right. Yes. And I'm like, yes, I was thinking Kirby, but I was like, no. At that point, I was like, no.
I don't think the series has the balls to make a returning fan favorite character a killer. I don't, and that's why Kirby's a good red herring, and I was suspecting her, but that part of me is always like, they're not going to do that. They don't have the balls to do that with a character like Kirby. But yeah, so I'm curious how you feel, because I feel like I know where you feel, and I don't want to assume, but the whole brawl at the end from here on out, that you get big old fight scene big old tussle with Sam and Tara versus the Bailey family.
Yeah.
And there's some very cartoonish moments. There's some over-the-top moments. There are moments that I really like, kind of hearkening back to what you'd said about the whole setup of Sam letting Tara go and that being set up and payoff. This is where it kind of pays off because there's a moment where Tara like kind of falls. They get to this balcony area and Tara kind of falls.
Yeah.
And Sam is holding her, and fucking Ethan is down below, you know, but he can't get to her, but he's like swinging his knife trying to get her.
He tries to have like a stew. Everyone's trying to have a stew moment in every single Scream sequel. This guy's like, he's trying to do like the I always had a thing for you, Sid, with I always wanted to stick something in you, Tara. I'm like, that didn't do a thing for me, Ethan. You don't work.
No, he's not great. He's not a great character.
No.
He's not a good actor either. He's in the recent 2 Avatar movies, and I haven't seen the 3rd one, but he is not good in Avatar 2. But yeah, and then this is where you get that payoff moment because Sam has to let Tara go because Quinn arrives on the balcony too and is coming at her and taking her sweet old time, just kind of slowly approaching Sam.
Oh my God, just dragging the knife along the rail.
Yeah.
Yep, let's buy them some time.
She has the gun, so she decides to give Tara the knife that she had taken earlier, her father's knife, Billy's knife, and gives it to Tara. Tara drops down, gets stabbed by Ethan, but then Tara says, "Now you can die a virgin," and takes the knife and fucking stabs it down Ethan's throat, which is fucking insane, and I do love that part. I love her just sticking the knife.
And then the twist.
It's a good kill.
Twist is just real
Oh, yeah,
nice.
she fucking twists it too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so gross. I love it.
And which he does do to Annika when he stabs her, he like twists it. So it's kind of like a nice callback that she like does it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the line too. Now you can die a virgin because like earlier on in the film he says something like I don't want to die a virgin or something like that, and obviously he's giving like heavy incel vibes. But sticks a knife down his throat, twists it, and meanwhile Quinn gets shot in the fucking head by Tara or Sam. I'm sorry, Sam shoots Quinn right in the fucking head. There we go. 2 killers down. All that's left is Detective Bailey, and. Dude, Sam has a really good line here. Say what you want about her performance. Or no. She doesn't say it to before she shoots Quinn. She says, damn. She says like, oh, down another brother or something like that. And then shoots her in the head, which is great. Yeah. Now, Detective Bailey. Do you want to describe this part?
She's aiming the gun at Bailey, goes for the shot. It is empty. And then she just goes, oh, fuck. And then just charges him. And he indeed reciprocates, charging her as he's aiming the gun at her, and they just collide. There is no shot. They just collide physically and are just wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't know what we're doing.
Well, no, they don't
here.
even wrestle. They just run into each other and then fall off the balcony.
Then they fall off.
He wakes up. No, Sam and Tara nowhere to be found. Both kids, Dunzo, not dead. And then he gets a call from Ghostface and goes into the room a little bit further past where, and it's funny because in the background, like not in the background, but on the projection screen is like an old home video that Richie made, like recreating like the opening scene of Scream 1 and also like Stab 1 and everything, obviously in that universe. But it's so funny seeing like I don't know if it was another actor and they just dubbed over it, or if it was like actually like just like a de-aged Jack Quaid, you know, who played Richie in the previous movie. But he goes into that room and gets a call from Ghostface, and then Sam pops out wearing the Ghostface costume and proceeds to stab the ever-living fuck out of Detective Bailey, like maybe more times than she stabbed Richie in the previous movie. Like
she's giving a lot of little jabs. Like she gives him like 10 on each arm.
Oh my God, it's like kind of hard to watch at points. But yeah, it's great, and he would have died anyway. so this moment is kind of redundant and a moot point, but she's about to deliver the final blow. Tara arrives on scene and gives Sam kind of a look. At first, it's like oh, like this is dark kind of look. And then Sam is like, oh, I'm not going to kill you. My father was a killer, but I'm not, or whatever. And then her and Tara exchange a look. She looks back at Detective Bailey and says, but you did fuck with our family. And then proceeds to stab him right in the fucking face.
It would only work for me if she's never killed anyone yet. She just killed Quinn. She like slaughtered Richie. What do you mean you're not a killer? Yes, you are. I don't care if it's in self-defense. You're a killer.
I think the point of the scene, though, is more so like she doesn't want to give into that darkness, but then Tara kind of gives her the okay. But she just did like... she just did one like 2 minutes ago with Quinn. But there's a difference between, I think, like self-defense killing somebody and then also like killing a person who is clearly like down for the count after stabbing him 40 fucking times. So, but I get it. But either way, he would have died. He would have bled out anyway. There's no way you survive 30 plus stabs. Nobody in this movie is gonna survive that much.
No chance.
There's no possible chance.
I would bet 30 stabs to me that no one survives 30 stabs.
No shot in hell. Cut to outside, everybody. Chad's alive.
Just elevated Dewey. Just complete Dewey on steroids. Like, you thought Dewey was superhuman? This guy... I like that Tara... Like, I guess... whatever. I'll buy into she just, like... It just hits her that Chad's dead. But, like... Yeah. She starts crying about Chad, and then, oh, hey, wait a minute. Who's that over there? Tara. Chad. Oxygen mask.
And like, people have pointed this out about the Scream movies, but in this one, it might be the most apparent. Tara and Sam were both stabbed in the stomach, right? At one point during the final fight. I know for sure Tara was. She was stabbed by Ethan. Oh, we didn't mention, the killers always pop up. Ethan pops back up as like the last... Yeah. Which, again, a knife was shoved down his throat. He pops back up, and then Kirby...
Oh, yeah.
Kirby chucks the TV that killed Stu Macher, chucked the TV at Ethan's head, and like...
She launches that
the
thing.
End, fucking yeets it. But yeah, Chad's alive. But either way, what I was getting at was Sam and Tara should probably be seeking medical attention and not just sitting down and having a moment.
Right.
You were both just stabbed. Like, I don't know. Like, at least Tara probably needs help.
And Mindy's alive. Granted, she got one stab. Fine. She can come back. But I like that Mindy just comes out. I mean, read a room, Mindy. It's solved. There's cops and police. Like, I mean, maybe you just think it's another killing, but she's like, oh, wait, I know who it is. Yeah.
She does mention she's very hopped up and high on pain meds, so she's feeling a little loopy. Yeah, so everybody survives. Our core force survives. Gail is... they said that they're going to check on Gail and Kirby at the hospital, and so Gail and Kirby are still alive. And
no one dies.
Nope. Nobody dies. All is well that ends well in the Scream universe. You get one kind of final shot of Sam, and you notice that she has grabbed her father Billy's mask, and we didn't really harp on that stuff too much, but they kind of count down the masks in this movie. So after each killing, a mask is left, and it goes down from obviously the previous movie to 4 down to 3, and then 2, and then 1. But yeah, so the old kind of mask, the one that Detective Bailey wears throughout the movie, the Billy Loomis mask, it's the one that's like all cracked like this and kind of faded. But what's weird is that's the only one that's like that. Stu's mask is
Stu's
like
not.
His is fine. It's normal. It's like the same shade of white, but
and it's funny because like Billy's is the only one that's actually protected in the glass case.
Yeah. Yeah, even in like an earlier part of that scene, like Quinn supposedly has Nancy Loomis's mask and all of that stuff. So
I forgot to say when Sam grabs the knife, Billy's like trying to convince her to take it. Oh, great choice. My favorite. Jesus. All right, Billy. All right, that's enough from you.
So good. I do like that they used him a lot less in this movie, but
at this point I want him more. I want more of him.
Yeah, just keep going.
Now I want some funny. I just want some funny time.
I'm looking over my notes, and I wrote in my notes, not to spoil too much, but no, the main characters aren't expendable, and neither are the legacy characters.
So yeah, I mean, we definitely covered all my notes for this. I'm ready
Yep,
to
I
to
am
get
tapped
to,
out.
to
I rarely
ratings.
looked at them. I don't even know why I take notes anymore. I have a good memory. I'm able to talk about the movie without looking through my notes. So other than like quotes and stuff, but yeah. So that is it for Scream 6, guys. Obviously, the last film leading up to Scream 7. Like I said in the next episode, we're just going to be talking about some Scream 7 theories, ranking the Scream movies, our top 5 favorite kills, ranking all the killers. So stay tuned for that in the next episode. It's going to be a little bit more relaxed, a little bit less focused, a little bit more of us just palling around, having a good conversation. So definitely stay tuned for that. But before we get to that, we do have to rate this movie. Would you like me to go first, or would you like to take the reins?
I'll take it.
All right, kick us off, bud.
I am gonna roll out with a 5.4 for Scream 6.
5.4. All right.
5.4.
Ooh, Josh, that's kind of low, man.
5.4. Jake,
The,
you don't
the,
know
bod-
how
the
much.
bodega and the subway really don't elevate it for you?
They do.
All right. That's
They do. I just
I'm
have
trying not to
once,
harp on your
like-
scores. That's fine.
I mean, the shrine comes in halfway into the movie. That destroys so much of the movie for me. It like completely removes me from it.
Understandable.
And then the final act, I can't stand. It's entertaining, but I can't stand. These. Well, I don't want to lend my hand. I hate these killers. I hate these killers so much. And
So I know
think-
where they're gonna land on your list.
I just can't stand them. I think they're genuinely especially compared to like every other killer we've gotten. They're all bad. They're like they're giving like legitimately bad performances. So it's
I agree.
Yeah.
I actually,
5.4.
out of the three, I don't think the actress who plays Quinn is that.
Quinn's the
bad.
best. Quinn's the
I
best
think
one
she's
out of those
solid.
three.
She's kind of cute too. I like a redhead. I like me a redhead. All right. Well, I'm gonna be obviously higher on it. I'm gonna give Scream 6 a 6.5 out of 10. I think it has some of the best horror sequences and scenes in the franchise. It has some of the best kills in the series. I think it does enough fresh and new. And yeah, it does have some dumb stuff and some silly, goofy stuff that does like detract from the overall experience. But to me, it's like I can look at the film critically and see where it goes wrong and areas that it could have been stronger. But also, if I do enjoy it, it is hard for me sometimes to take away. Because like while the museum stuff is over the top and it does like it is silly and stupid and illogical, it's fun, man, and it's just
it is fun. And guess what? That's why it gets a little heart on Letterboxd. That's what
there
the
we
heart's
go.
for.
5.5 with a heart. I like that.
Yeah.
Again, I like we've said it every episode. I would still watch this over most. I would watch this over every Friday. I'd watch this over most Nightmare sequels. Yeah, so it's a good time. Two of the best sequences in the series with the bodega scene and the subway scene. Excellent scenes of tension. And yeah, the ladder, whatever. It's a big ladder. I think that scene's kind of fun. It's just really it's really hard to just watch a character who's been stabbed in the stomach and is still being like chased by Ghostface. Like she's just sitting on the bed, like probably knowing that she's gonna die with her guts like starting to spill out. Like it's just
Which I like
that
I like that she stops bleeding completely when she starts crawling the ladder. There's no blood coming out of her. None.
She's patched it up a little bit. All right, guys. Well, of course, we already recommended, not recommended, but we're not doing a franchise next episode. We're just kind of doing a Scream recap, like I said. But before we do our little plugs and get on out of here, I have a question. So if you guys don't know how we do things at the end of the episode, one of us likes to pose a question that we just do a little brief discussion on, and then we'll head on out of here. And in honor of Scream and how we have highlighted how iconic some of these openings are, especially the first film, and how pivotal they are to the series and setting the tone for the rest of the film, what are some underrated opening scenes in horror films? Not the most underrated, just a couple that you can think of. I got one off the top of my head. The opening of Suspiria, the original, I think that is so
underrated.
Fantastic. Well, yeah, I just don't...
Wait, did you say underrated or just ones that you think are great?
It's great and it's underrated. Like I don't see like obviously you have your Halloween, you have your Scream. I don't see Suspiria get mentioned in those conversations enough, and I think it should. I think it's a really awesome opening kill.
I feel like this
The
one gets talked
music
about, so
is great.
I don't know if it's underrated, but it's an opening I do like. But let me try to think. I'm trying to think of like a more.
And while you're
underrated
thinking, I'm going to
opening.
throw another one out there. I think the opening of the first Hellraiser is really great too, where you get and it's not even a scene, but the opening of Texas Chainsaw Massacre doesn't get enough love. Opening up on that shot of the skeleton put together on top of the grave, I think is just like a really great. And if you want to count the opening monologue and voiceover narration by John Larroquette, all of that stuff, setting the scenery and the film that you're gonna watch and all that stuff. I think that's really great. But yeah, what do you think?
Well, I was gonna say It Follows, but I feel like that gets a lot of love. I do love the opening.
Not
for
enough.
It Follows.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer.
You don't think it
Great
gets enough
fucking-
love?
No, I think
The
people
track-
have slowly forgotten about that movie.
Yeah, I think that is such a great opening, and I love the soundtrack for that movie. And you get that really nice like. It feels very like retro, but it feels kind of new, and it's just so intense, and you have no idea what's going on in the movie.
Yeah.
But it's very I think that's a great opening.
Great answer. Shout out Midsummer. I think Midsummer has a fantastic opening sequence as well. That one is like
that is
genuinely
good.
unsettling and bone chilling. Yeah.
I was trying to pull up like my just a list of like horror movies that I'm trying to remember like openings, but yeah, It Follows came to mind. Suspiria is a great answer. I thought that gets talked about a lot, but maybe not as much.
Not as much as it should, I think. Like I think it's not
Because that's one of my
as good
favorite.
as, like,
That's
Scream
one of
and
my
Halloween.
favorite openings.
Yeah, it's
horror
so
movies.
fucking good. So good. Yeah,
I don't think the original Scream opening gets a lot of love.
it's still the best. It's still the best. Anything else, or shall we do our plugs?
Nah, I'm gonna stick
Unless
with
you
It
got
Follows.
any-
I'm just gonna stick with that one.
That's a great one. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to this episode. Again, somehow we went longer than I thought we would, but we really tried. We tried our best. The next episode will definitely be shorter because we're not going to be talking about like an entire movie. So either way, guys, thank you again for listening or watching this episode. You can listen or watch this podcast wherever you get your podcast. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and we also upload to my personal YouTube channel, Former Film Student. So make sure to subscribe, follow, and leave a comment, interact with us. And nobody ever leaves comments or interacts with us on our main episodes. We've had a couple of people comment on some of our shorts and whatnot, but yeah, come over and comment on here, and maybe we'll shout you out because you're probably going to be the only one. So thank you.
And while you're at it, head on over to Instagram and TikTok at Franchise Deep Dive. So we're going to see a lot of the entertaining shorts we've been doing. Like, comment, follow, DM us, whatever you want. But yeah, just stay on there for future episodes. Get a little some teasers before the episodes actually release. But yeah, can't wait to talk about Scream 7. I'm very excited. Oh, is it getting delayed? Or was that like a fake rumor?
No, end of February.
I saw some people say that there's a potential delay on it because of licensing or something.
No, some people have already seen it.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right,
Well,
guys.
that's all I have. Yeah.
Yeah. Catch us on the next episode of Franchise Deep Dive. Goodbye.
Later.